Hello, good morning, everybody in YouTube land. Thanks for being here. I wanted to share a little story. When I first started reading palms, like I said, I had been incarcerated at the time, and there was really nothing better to do. So I had begun and had read about 50, 60 palms. Well, one of the biggest, meanest, baddest women there had heard about me. And I had seen her obviously before we passed, but we were not friends. She scared the hell out of me, I'm not gonna lie. And people, once they know me, they either love me or they hate me. So I wasn't winning her over, let's put it that way. And I learned quickly to stay to myself in jail. Keep my head down, keep my mouth shut. After a nice altercation in the cell with 4 other Native people who were not friendly at all. So after that, I kind of got shy and withdrawn, and I would sit there, mind my own business, and make tampons, okay, out of maxi pads. So I got pretty good at it, and I would just sit at the table and make my tampons all day long with my head down. One day, this big butch chick came, sat down, and boom, slammed her hand down on the table in front of me. Caught me off guard. So I want to know what all this shit is about, she says. And I was like, uh-oh. You know, what do I do? What do I do? Now, I knew her name because it was tattooed on her neck all the way around like a great big shackle. And huge letters that said Bubbles. So her name was Bubbles. We know that. And sure enough, I kind of got caught off guard. And I was like, oh great. So far I've been reading palms of people who were interested and liked it and thought that I was so cool. And now I've got this big, mean, angry, scary person in front of me demanding her palm reading. Okay. Well, the reading kind of went like the scene in The Wizard of Oz when you see the huge lion come out of the woods and I'm gonna kick your ass and I'm gonna beat your ass and I'm gonna eat your ass. Read my palm. But by the end of the session, I kind of was sitting there and stroking the big kitty with the big teeth, the big tattoo, and she was sitting there crying, and not just a few tears. She wasn't sobbing, but she was crying, and we had a large group around us. It was quite a display at the time. So again, I had been very nervous. I didn't know what to do. I had to go through with it, and it turned out to be again a positive experience. The trauma that I saw in her hand alone was very it stuck with me. You know, that was something that always left an impression. The horrible things that she had went through while she was young and in her father's care. And what it made her was a tough exterior, and she was very protective of people. And she had to protect herself. So it kind of gave her that, again, rough exterior that we all saw on the outside. But by the time the reading was over, again, I had seen that she was just in a lot of pain, and she needed some protection too, you know. She didn't really feel safe. So you never know what you're going to find. Even the biggest, hardest, meanest, scariest ones are going to be the ones to break down and tell you, you know, tragic things about themselves. And needless to say, at the end of my sentence, on the last day about 3 a.m., I was getting ready to go. I hadn't slept. I was all packed up, and I get the bzzz, guard wants to see you in the shack. Oh, great. I thought maybe they got one last insult for me, you know. Maybe there's some girls waiting out there that, you know, had a little grudge or something. I don't know. But I was nervous, and I went down there, and I found 4 guards sitting there waiting for me to read their palms before I left. And one of them I thought she hated me the whole time. She was mean and cold and nasty. And it turned out that her brother had been murdered within that facility due to neglect. And she was extremely affected by that. Um, and so I had wished that I had read her palm sooner, and maybe I could have, been friends or something. But be prepared for that too. Sometimes you're going to encounter a hand that is so just overwhelming and profound that you don't even know where to start. And you're going to get flustered, and they're going to put you on the spot, and you're going to be like, oh shit, where do I start? So that's why we began with the basics and the shape, the personality, the characteristics. And then you can go in and define that person if you want, if they want. Okay? But start basic and then work your way up, okay, into the details and whatnot. There are times when I'm sitting there, the one in tears, because I see so much turmoil and heartache on their hands, but when you look at them, you see nothing but a beautiful smile and a radiant kind of strength about them, and it truly makes you admire people a lot more for their courage and their perseverance. That's what I've gained out of this. So it is very rewarding at the same time. Don't get flustered. Take one line at a time. And if a big butch chick called Bubbles comes up to you, you tell her I said hi. Thanks, guys. Be well.